Are we live? Hmm. First live, so this should be interesting. Dawn, I see you. Can you give the okay that you can hear okay and everything's okay? Awesome. Hope everyone is doing well. Okay, let's do this. So, first, I would like to thank Vicky and Donna for the opportunity to be a part of Live with CAFA. I'm also very appreciative of their unwavering commitment to the Canadian fashion industry. I'm always amazed how they're constantly looking for ways to contribute to the industry and those who are a part of it. I think that's the kind of attitude and commitment that we need right now more than ever. Also, thank to all of you. I hope everyone is doing well, everyone is home, safe. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me talk a little bit about strategies during these very unusual times. Um, for those who don't know me, I am a brand strategist and creative collaborator. I started my career client side at Telus Mobility. Then I moved to the agency side, work at Venture Communications from the West, Hello West Canada, work with Arlene Dixon, work at Publicis, work at Cosette, and work at experiential agency Community. 3 years ago, I decided to go independent. I became a freelancer so that I have the freedom now to collaborate with any brand I want, but I also have the freedom to travel some more. Those who know me know that traveling is my big passion. So throughout my career, I have had the opportunity to work on some amazing brands. Local brands like the LCBO and Back Taxi, to national brands like Rogers, Labatt Breweries, Canada Post, to global brands like McDonald's, Chrysler, Perrier, and Salesforce. And if there's one thing I learned from working on those brands is that a savvy marketer or brand does not make bad use of a good crisis. And the idea here is not to be opportunistic or insensitive to what's happening around us. It's quite the opposite. It's about being aware and smart about how you approach, um, you know, how we approach this crisis. One of the things that we know for sure is that no brands can afford right now to do nothing about this. Consumers are not only expecting you to do it, but they are actually watching it. There's actually a website called didtheyhelp.com where you type the name of the brand and the website tells you what kind of contribution or action that brand took during this time. So make no mistake, like whatever you do right now as a brand, consumers will remember afterwards. So doing nothing is the worst that you can do right now. And I know how easy it is to feel overwhelmed with so many unknowns and paralyzed by the lack of control over things. So my suggestion would be for you to kind of block yourself on all those things that you don't know and focus on what are the things that you know about this new reality, or as we call the new normal, that you can capitalize on. You'd be amazed if you actually just took some time and went for the exercise of listing all those things that actually you know about what's happening right now. And then for each of those things, just ask yourself, like, can my brand help? What can I do about each of those items in my known list? You'd be amazed how many opportunities you find that you actually can contribute. And I think so. What I thought of for today for this live talk, which by the way is my very first talk, so please bear with me. I'm sure there's gonna be mistakes all over the place. But what I thought we would do is I would take you through some of those knowns, just to illustrate how sometimes when you take this kind of approach, how simple it is to actually find a great opportunity for your brand. And I'm gonna illustrate. I'm gonna also let you know how some brands are doing that. But before I get into those, what I call these known realities, I just want to remember you that two things. One is not every opportunity is for every single brand. So that's where your brand purpose, your brand DNA, or even your brand personality really kick in. The brands that are going to be able to actually capitalize the most from this time, in my opinion, are the brands that actually really know what they stand for, because that allows them to stretch a little bit in terms of like what they can do at a time like this. So again, whatever you do at this now, make sure that it's true to you. And the second thing is, not every opportunity is going to be tied to product sales. And I think that's a very important thing to accept. And I know it is very hard to accept, given that everyone's bottom line has been severely impacted by this crisis. But this is a time for brands to step up their game and demonstrate to consumers that they actually understand what consumers are going through, and that they're willing to do whatever it takes to bring value and help them go through this. This is the time to give before you get back. But if you do that, I have no doubt that sales will eventually come. Okay, so let's start with our what we call non-reality. Some of them you're going to be surprised how simple it is to actually identify opportunities for your brand. First, big new reality or non-reality. I'm sorry. Everyone is stuck at home. Right there's an opportunity. The opportunity for your brand. What these quarantine has done has brought a much valuable common context to your entire audience, an otherwise very diverse audience. So it's much easier right now to target your audience than if they were all over the place doing a bunch of different things. And the solution, so if you have a small team, or if you're an independent designer, or if you have a large team, you should be tweaking your brief to just go and ask your team, what can we do knowing that everybody's stuck at home right now that will bring some value to their everyday? And you'd be surprised how, the solution for that does not have to be expensive or require a lot of time. Perfect example for that was Popeyes in the US. The brand has distributed has shared their Netflix password to the first 1,000 customers to take a picture of their at-home fried chicken, along with the password, with the hashtag that password from Popeye. So right there, you can see how it's such a simple idea. Of course, there's a great synergy here between comfort food and watching TV. But right there is a perfect illustration that your contribution can be as simple as a password of a Netflix. The beauty of it is that it costs pretty much Popeyes nothing. It brought real value to consumers, made a sense of urgency, and was tied to product purchase. And then, of course, there's a whole buzz generating aspect of it because it was all over the news. So again, you don't need to think like big, expensive solutions for your contribution to consumers every day. Think small, and again, never underestimate the power and the appeal of a simple solution. Okay, so non-reality number two. Consumers are not only are they stuck at home, but they're also very fearful. They're anxious, and they're also very tired of all the bad news and sad news that we're being bombarded every day. Right there, the brands have the opportunity to come in and inject a much needed dose of optimism, positivity, and reassurance to your community. And of course, that can come in the shape of social media content. So you can have inspiring quotes, funny jokes, or feel-good stories. Or it can come in the shape of product merchandise. I see lots of brands creating unique products, assuming of course you have some budget for that. But it can be just as simple as a cool sweater, some sort of comfort clothing, or a mug, especially nowadays when people are working, everybody's working from home. A mug with an inspiring saying that just remind people that better days are coming. So again, very, very simple thing, simple device. And if you're a small brand and you're both your human and your financial resources are limited, I know that having friends in this industry, I know that unfortunately lots of them had to let some of their team members go. If human resources is a limitation for you, don't feel the pressure to actually have to create new content. You can also curate new content. There's so much good content out there that your brand can just bring together and deliver to your customer base. The good thing about curating content is that not only allows you to have something to connect with your own audience, but allows you to connect with different brands, new brands, and also their following. Okay, so non-reality number three. So we know our customers are stuck at home, they're feeling fearful, but they also got plenty of time in their hands. And they're looking for ways to kill their time, spend their time, get themselves busy, or sometimes it's their kids busy. And not only that, because of that, they're much more willing to actually try different things. So I actually think that this is a perfect time for the brands to come in and help them spend their time. I actually think that there's a perfect opportunity here for brands to bring forward those that are actually behind the brand. And we know that this is a big trend, like especially like the younger audience. Everybody's really interested in who's behind the brands, and I think it's particularly relevant to the fashion industry. Is an opportunity for the designer behind the brand or the team behind the brand to come to the forefront. I think the possibilities there are endless because you can tap into your individual interests, passions. As long as it's true to you, you can't go wrong. So, for example, you could be sharing your favorite cooking recipes, which is so relevant right now. You could be sharing your favorite cocktails. We all know how much we're all drinking at home right now. Or you could be, I don't know, more creative and read your favorite poem, one poem a day as a part of a bad night story series. Or you can play Ellen and then wake up every day with a big dance, that just get people to like this notion of just bringing your customers a little minute of joy or escape. I think it's huge, and it costs you nothing, absolutely nothing. For instance, like just as an example, just to illustrate here, I believe that the chief marketing officer of Airbnb, she's having like daily inspiration brainstorm sessions with whoever joins her at Zoom meeting. So again, like huge opportunity here for you to connect with the brand in a human level. And the good thing about this approach is actually like helps humanize the brand. Something that another trend that we are seeing like gaining lots of momentum, right? Like people want to feel like they're not just dealing with business, but they're dealing with people, and that's what makes your customers feel really connected with your brand. So, non-reality number 4, something that I think we can all relate to is we're all missing the connections. We're missing whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whether it's even your coworkers who would have thought, I think we're all missing that connection, those connections, and I think this presents a great opportunity for brands out there to create opportunities for those people to let others know that they are thinking of them, let others know how much they value those friendships and those relationships, let others know that they are not feeling alone, and I think that this presents a particular opportunity for fashion brands. For you to actually not repurpose, but look at your existing inventory, unsold inventory, and just bring back, and actually just as long as you actually, all you have to do is like pretty much repackage it in a way that feels like relevant to this specific time. But again, if you're creative, I know so many friends in the industry that had done like love. Collections. So again, this is all about love. We all want love right now. We all want to feel love. We all want to feel remembered. So I think there's an opportunity for fashion brands to actually look at your inventory and see how you can make use of those things. Again, all you have to do is package it, focus on repackaging that thing, and again, make sure that you craft your message very beautifully. The power of words right now in terms of getting people emotionally invested on whatever it is that we do, definitely do not underestimate that, okay? Now, non-reality number 5, and again, something that we all can relate is this notion that, not notion, but the reality that we're all feeling a little bit uneasy about our finance. What these crises has done has really changed the value equation for consumers when it comes to discretionary spending. So it has taken the consumers from a state of like mindless shopping or spending to mindful spending. And as what this represents for brands is, and again, this is not to say that people are just going to stop shopping completely. I don't think that's the case. What it represents is the fact that now brands, we have to aggregate. We have to give consumers an extra reason to buy a product. Basically, we have to aggregate value to our offering. whether it's an emotional value or a tangible value. We have seen like across the board many fashion brands, not just fashion brands, but every category offering discounts, discounts to their merchandise, but also like sometimes like what they're doing is partnering with certain charities. A lot of charities needing help right now. Partnering with charities and having some of the proceeds going to those charities. Charities like the COVID-19 Global Fund or charities tied to the people in the front line. And all those two things are amazing. I think we need to keep doing because we need everybody to pitch in. But I actually think that there's an opportunity here to dig in a little bit deeper and be a little bit more creative and maybe be a little bit more true or closer to the nature of your brand. For instance, if you know that all the proceeds, every single player in the category, in the fashion category, is supporting a specific charity or a specific cause, maybe you support a different one. So for instance, like we have all seen the unfortunate rise in domestic violence. So maybe your proceeds, especially if you're a female, women's brand, fashion brand, maybe your proceeds don't go to the COVID-19 relief fund. It goes to charities supporting women's shelter or anything that supports women survivors from domestic violence. Or maybe it goes towards the elderly or at-risk groups. So again, just like, if the association with charity is the methodology, try to find like the angle that is the most suitable to your brand and that will allow you to break through. If everybody's offering discounts, it's very hard to break through. So try to be very creative or strategic about that. The other thing that I also think when we talk about aggregating value is think about strategic partnerships. What this crisis has done is that it has not only put like consumers kind of on the same boat, under the same kind of context, but it also has put brands and business in the same boat. So I think every brand right now is looking for ways to actually to collaborate, to stay relevant, to engage their audience. So their willingness to collaborate and participate is almost like optimum right now. So take advantage of that. Whether you're a partner, maybe you're partnering with, maybe it's someone that it's a candles provider, a candles vendor, something for the home. Or maybe it's a book provider. Maybe you guys decide to come up with like weekly bundles that, maybe it's a drop. Maybe it's a weekly drop that every Monday there's this package in front of the consumer's house that will get them to, bring a smile to the beginning of their week and bring that element of surprise to their life that it's pretty much feeling like a lot like same routine every day. So how do you as a brand can contribute to almost like break that sense of routine, that boring sense of routine? Again, I think it's a matter of being creative and think about what it is that I can, again, back to like list those things and ask yourself like, what can I do that will give consumers an extra reason right now to buy my product now? So that's a known reality number 5. Another known reality as well, and I think we can all relate to this, is more than ever we are communicating through our screens. Sites or apps like Zoom, Slack, which is a work app, Slack or Go Meeting, or even like House Party has seen like a huge increase, not only from a download perspective, but also from a user perspective. And the impact that I believe that has on fashion brands is, if I were a marketer thinking about what it is that I'm going to advertise, I would be thinking about anything that it's above the keyboard or above the waistline. So I think that this particularly presents great opportunities, particularly for brands like hair accessories, jewelry, tops that bring the drama, that create impact around your neck, or even like glasses, like Warby Parker. Like I would be like anybody who's a glass manufacturer there, a glass fashion brand, I would be like focusing on like promoting like non-prescription glasses, because I think it actually brings a completely different look to you. I would put my hand in the fire that if had a glasses brand start doing that from the beginning of this crisis, by the end of it, non-prescription glasses will be like a big thing. Everybody will be wearing them. So again, think about the above the waistline to create impact. Similarly, actually, on the flip side of it, you have the notion of, if I care a lot about what's happening right here, I don't really care about what's happening below the waist or below the keyboard. So I think that presents an opportunity for brands that can deliver on practicality and comfort. So again, thinking about the new realities, what we know that is a new reality, the new norm, and thinking about how that has an impact on your brand. Now, known reality number 7, another one that it's also tied to screen time and the way we communicate, is the popularity of certain sites or site categories as during this time of pandemic. Of course, in quarantine. Of course, like Netflix reigns supreme here, but I think that we can all think about all the sites that are actually, all the categories that are becoming more popular. Dating sites, cooking sites, home improvement sites, do-it-yourself DIY sites. To be honest with you, porn sites. I know, like, sounds crazy, but yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But so if you are an advertiser that are currently spending some money right now online, what you want to do is make sure that you reevaluate your media buy and make sure that your brand is present, whatever these quarantine consumers are. You want to be there. The only caveat, the only watch out that I would do here is like make sure that you're not just repurposing messages. Make sure that you take a very close look at your ad inventory and in your message to make sure that you're making your message the most relevant and timely it can be. Repurposing message from the past, I just think you're missing a great opportunity. You're missing the mark here. Known reality number 8, and I think that's a big one, is localization. So we have all seen the devastating impact that this reality has had on local businesses. And what that has done is has created like a much stronger sense of connection that we have with the local business around us. And that, as a consequence of that, we're going to have a huge appetite from a consumer perspective to buy and invest their money in local businesses. And I think this presents a huge opportunity. So you want to set yourself up to capitalize on that movement. Actually, I think that has two things related to that. One is, we talked a little bit earlier about strategic partnerships. So as you think about partnering with brands, like think about potentially partnering with brands that are neighbors to yours, neighboring brands, because I think that is going to drive up the appeal of your offering. But I want to say one thing, like, be mindful of this is not just about asking people to support you as a local business. I think that we need to be think about the other way around as well. It's about thinking about what you as a brand can do as a business. Just for the sake of illustrating an example, I have 2 friends in Brazil, Juliana and Mariana, who actually took the initiative to actually they rally different neighborhoods to actually create funds, neighborhood-specific funds. Whoever lives based on your postal code, with the money going to those service providers that actually lost their job, like street vendors that actually again has always been there for us, but that lost their job and lost their income. And this campaign has gone viral. A lot of cities have adopted. A lot of neighborhoods have adopted. So I think there's something there about you thinking about what is the contribution that I'm going to make to my local community. Okay. Known reality number 9, and I just have 2 more. Known reality number 9. To be honest with you, I don't quite know what to do with this reality, but I just think that there gotta be something there. My gut tells me that this is like fertile territory for a fashion brand. The fact that not only are we stuck at home, but we have spent a lot of time with our closets. So whether we have organized them, or whether we have purged, or whether we have just messed them up even more, I do think that there's something there. Maybe there's an opportunity for brands to have live sessions where they help people repurpose some of their existing thing, or pairing it differently so that it feels fresh. Again, thinking about the shift from mindless consumption to mindful fashion consumption, I think it's something that if you can, as a brand, carve an opportunity to help consumers make the most of their closet, I think there's something there. Okay, so I'm actually going to brief myself on that after. And then finally, just because I wanted to end on a high note, but that's actually definitely reality. Non-reality number 10, this shall pass, you know. This is gonna pass. This is a moment. If we think about this as from a fashion lens perspective, I would see the COVID-19 era as a season, an unfortunate season. But I do believe that this presents an opportunity for brand. As humans, we all like to remember moments of our lives. And I think there's an opportunity for brands here to step up and create, you know, when you think about fashion, fashion has always been about creating dream and magic. I do think there's an opportunity for brands here to create some sort of keepsake that will allow us to remember a beautiful keepsake that will allow us to remember a period that was anything but, you know. I think it's important, will be important for us to remember this period. Hopefully, we're not just going to remember because of all the tragedies that it has created, or the sadness that it has generated, but also hopefully about the things that we have learned as human beings. And I really hope that we actually can all get out. I hope you're taking this time to think about ourselves, about the way we do business, about the way we consume, the way we relate to one another. And I hope that we all come out of this stronger and better than ever. So hopefully, you guys are thinking about how it is that you want your brand to be remembered from this time, what kind of association you want to create, and hopefully give some consumers something that they can look and go wow, this was a defining moment in all of our lives. I think that this idea of wanting to remember something gets it's taken to another level because of the fact that not only did we experience this individually, but we all experienced this. So I think there's a huge opportunity there as a brand. Whoever strikes the right balance there, the right chord, I think it's going to come out of it doing really well. And I think that's it for me. I can't see what's happening here. The questions, I know it's already 12:28. So before I try to take any questions, I just want to remind you guys that this amazing programming of Live with CAFA continues next week. On Tuesday, we have Charles Lepierre, founder of Judith and Charles. I love the brand. He will discuss leadership and decision making during COVID and how his brand is adapting to it. Adapting being a keyword here. And then Thursday we have Ashley Froese, my girl Ashley. We talked before in another panel. She will be back. She's in branding, entertainment, and fashion lawyer, and she'll be back with updates on the government supports and stimulus package. There has been a lot of change there, so I think that's going to be a critical session that you definitely don't want to miss. And if you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to contact me through Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Paulo Leone, Pauloleone. And if you have questions for the next speakers or even for myself as well, please email them to live@CAFAwards, CAFA with just one A, so CAFAWARDS.ca. I hope you stay well. I hope you got some out of this session. It's my first session, so thank you for hanging out with me there. And stay safe. Again, we all come out of this much stronger and much better than before. Okay. Ciao. Thank you.